Can you do a crazy hand thing so that we know it's starting for when we make a highlight?
This segment is called What the Fack?
Start over.
This segment is called What the Fack? What's up, Flip?
Okay. Frequently asked questions.
Starring...
No, wait, shoot. Oh, we're so bad at this.
Shit.
Everyone calm down, it's fine. Okay. Jonas, what do you play Tetris on?
I play Tetris on the classic NES OEM console that I bought in 1989. Mm-hmm. That's not true. Trey gave me this console, but for all intents and purposes, I play the one that was available to the masses in the 80s.
Yeah, the big gray, bricky looking. You
Right.
play on that.
Yes.
So would you understand, like, and be able to recommend really good emulators? Not really.
Not really.
Not really, because you don't use emulator.
No.
Yeah. But people can use emulators to play, yes or no?
They can. But there's a legality issue. Mm-hmm. You need to own the underlying cartridge. But of course you do, because everybody owns a copy of NES Tetris.
Mm-hmm. So get an emulator like FCEU X or an Estopia or RetroArch.
Or Nesticle, if it's still going.
RetroArch.
Nesticle.
And you can play on an emulator and practice up. And when does that start being an issue? Because isn't there like lag?
So there's frame delay.
Mm-hmm.
If you saw all those swag spins that I pull off effortlessly in the tournament.
So swag and you hit everyone.
Those are 3 and 2 frame window spins. Mm-hmm. If you're dealing with latency that is a handful of frames, you're going to have a difficult time emulating that kind of, no pun intended, behavior. So around competitive 18 and definitely 19, emulator's really not going to get it done for you. And you're going to want to make the switch to a classic cathode ray tube TV, CRT TV, that you might have to find on Craigslist or eBay. These will have to be purchased. And the original console and the original controller.
Mm-hmm. All of these things. Does the NES Classic have Tetris?
It does not.
What if I hack it and I put Tetris on it?
Why would you do that? Why would you do that? When you have original console, because you're still going to run into the latency issue with the NES Classic because it plugs into an LED or LCD TV.
NES Classic is still basically an emulator at heart. So within all of it, yeah, the licensing is so tough. Foster, whoa!
Thank you for that fackin' subscription, Foster.
Thanks so much, Foster. All right, if I'm good at this modern guideline Tetris, I'm gonna be great at NES Tetris, right?
Not necessarily.
I'm level 20 on Tetris, friends, so I'm gonna kill it.
The mechanics are quite different. What will help you out is that modern Tetris is a very fast version of Tetris, so you'll be able to see the moves. Mm-hmm. However, executing the moves without a 7-bag randomizer is going to be difficult. Classic Tetris has no hold chamber, and it has chaotic randomization. So you are not guaranteed any piece in the next 7 pieces. You could get 8 squares in a row, and Classic Tetris would not bat an eye. The only thing that's working in your favor is that it's biased against repeating pieces. So if you get a line, the next piece, if it rolls and randomizes to be a line, the game will re-roll and try to get something else. So you can still get back-to-back lines, it's just less likely.
Okay. So you play on an NES. How do you stream it?
So I use a Habaug capture card. So I use a Y-splitter, only video. You can do the audio as well. I only choose to do video because I like to listen to music while I play. But you put the 2 video inputs, and it's a USB Habaug that goes straight into the computer, and it gets captured by OBS software.
That's how we stream.
Habaug.
Okay. That was kind of the basic how to play section. Now we're on game mechanics. How do you start above level 9?
So, in the title screen...
Ooh, hold up the thing. You can show the buttons. This FAQ has show and tell.
It has props. So this is a controller. This is the D-pad. The D-pad right here. So when you're choosing your level and you have it on 9, you can hold A and press start.
So you hold down A.
And you add 10 levels to any of the 0 through 9 selections.
Plus 10.
So that's how you can start from 10 to 19. And
10.
Traditionally, the tournament players start on 18 if they're trying to score.
Why do they start on 18?
18...
Doesn't 19 score higher?
19 scores slightly higher, but you're sacrificing survivability. There's a drastic decrease in survivability when you play on 19. So 18 is the sweet spot where it's fast enough not to be boring, but slow enough that you can score well and score just under the scoring that you get for 19 for Tetrises and whatnot.
Fact and show and tell. Okay, what's A-type and what's B-type?
So A-type Tetris is what we play for the tournament. You start on 0 with no garbage on your screen, and
you start on 0. I thought you start on 18.
You start on whatever level you're starting on, but you start at with no garbage, and you start at ground 0.
Ground 0.
Ground 0.
Okay.
And then you progress through the levels and score and try to get high scores. Type B.
So A-type's marathon, you could say.
It's marathon.
In a word.
It's a finite marathon. It's not an endless mode.
Well, it is marathon though, because
it is marathon, right? Okay. But it has a kill screen at level 29.
Kill screen in quotes. It doesn't kill everyone.
It does not kill everyone.
But it mostly kills
But it
everyone.
mutilates. It mutilates.
Mostly.
And then you drag your bleeding corpse past it, and sometimes you can get a little bit further. But for the most part, level 29 sucks.
Glausmly. No, they have to start on the same level?
Yes. They have to start on the same level, and it's either 15 or 18, and it's unclear whether 15 is going to be phased out soon.
And 15 was only for round 1, available as an option. We're going to get to the CTWC questions. We're on game mechanics. Okay.
Type B is a digging simulator where you can add garbage to your screen, and then you have 25 cleared lines to survive and possibly clear your board down to 0. So it's great to practice digging. It's great to practice quick tapping, which will be discussed later. Type B is just fine.
Fly,
I'm a Type A kind of guy.
We just answered that, Fly.
I'm a Type A personality.
I guess you have to watch it on YouTube. Why does it stay on level 18 for 130 lines? I thought it changed every 10 lines.
So, if you start on level 9, your progression is very straightforward. After 100 lines, you will move to level 10, and then 10 cleared lines will get you to level 11, and so on and so forth, until 290 lines gets you to level 29. If the same were to be done for level 18, you wouldn't move to level 19 until you're 190 lines in. The problem with that is your scoring capabilities are dramatically increased if you have that much time on level 18. So the game developers decided that to cap the scoring and keep it kind of an even progression, they would have you transition sooner. So that's why at 130 lines, you transition to level 19 instead of 180. So you don't have that 50 lines of scoring to make it, people would be popping 1.5s, 1.8s with their eyes closed.
And I think you can see, well, I don't know if you can still see, but Harry Hong did a challenge on his stream for a year where he was trying to max out from every level, and it was like just possible. So that proves that the mechanics of it make sense. Remarkable
foresight by the game developers.
Very impressive. What's the speed change when you go from 18 to levels 19 through 28?
So the speed changes significantly at level 16. So 16 and 18 is the same speed. Then where the blocks fall every 3 frames. After you hit 19, the speed does not change until you hit 29. And from 19 to 28, the blocks fall every 2 frames.
So it's like a 33% speed increase? Is that how that
50%?
works? 50%? How is
From
that?
3 to 2? Can we get math in chat?
Can someone do the math? When do you transition
50%.
if you start on 19?
So if you start on 19, it's like starting on 18. It's the same. So you transition to level 20 at 140 lines, which is the same as 18, It's just you're starting on 19. So you don't transition out of 130 lines because you're already there. You're already playing 19.
Right.
Okay.
Oh, 5%.
Thank you guys for the math.
Thanks.
And then at level 29 and above, it's 1 frame. And it never gets faster than 1 frame because it's just impossible to have less than a frame in this universe. Maybe in a parallel universe, you can go half frame, but this is how it is.
Why would you leave your phone on full volume right next to the microphone? FAQ.
Because I want people to know that I'm a busy, popular guy.
So
busy, popular guy with a lot of things going on in my life. A lot of irons and fires. A lot of fingers and pies.
Fingers and pies. Oh my god. Yeah. Why do they call 29 a kill screen, and why do you just stop playing when you hit it? Why do you give up when you hit it?
So, at level 29, if you're not a hyper tapper, it is incredibly difficult to get pieces left and right. If I'm at the very bottom, you'll see that I can maybe get a single or two here and there, but a lot of times I'll hit 29 with chaos on the board, and without quick tapping or without maneuvers, I'm going to top out. So my damage has been done. It's not that I give up, because I play with my heart and I want to like score for you guys. But it's just impossible for me to get stuff to the left and right with the way that I play.
You have hit level 30.
I have.
Once.
Yes.
Yes.
But emotionally, I hit level 30 a bunch of times. I could have done it. I could have done it.
Okay. What's the difference between NTSC and PAL?
So, it's a question of the refresh rate that was available for European TVs. So PAL, somehow the math works out where the refresh rate is like 50 hertz, and so they had to speed the game up. And so essentially level 19 is a little less difficult than 29, but it's still essentially a kill screen for PAL Tetris. You can DAS and survive a little bit easier on 19 than 29, but it definitely caps the scoring. And DAS is faster in PAL, so the pieces move quicker and they fall faster on 18.
So the score limit, kind of the PAL max out, you could say, is 700,000 points, because that's about the best level 18 people could put up for a while. Right.
I think the current world record is somewhere 758. But essentially the 700s are kind of the max out for PAL. And it's all about level 18.
Just like perfect play.
Level 18 aggression, risk taking. Absolutely.
What's the maximum? Oh, and the C2WC is played on the NTSC format. Just,
right.
Yeah. Did you?
So.
Got him. So.
Must be a confused individual. That's not a frequently asked question. If I buy my wife from Thailand.
Not frequently asked.
That's a one-off.
What is the maximum possible score on NTSC? This is all about NTSC for the most part. Maximum possible score if you start on level 18.
The maximum transition?
No, total score.
The maximum total score from 18, somewhere around 1.5 million.
That's only Tetris's.
Which is very difficult because
very unlikely.
Any drought over, I want to say 15 to 20, will guarantee that you have to burn lines, even if you have a perfect surplus setup.
And from a 19 start, only Tetris's, a little bit higher.
A little bit higher. Still
These are common questions. But they're completely unrealistic expectations.
Irrelevant.
Politician irrelevant.
Politician.
Tournament questions. Why is it single elimination?
Single elimination, there's multiple reasons. One, for the hype. It needs to be life or death. Second of all, we have a limited time and space in the Retro Gaming Expo. So we can't have double elimination. We can't have a 20-hour tournament. It's not going to be...
As it is on Sunday, the last round usually hits the closing time or goes beyond it, which is why there are the hilarious meme videos with the announcer coming in saying, "Vendors, please complete your sales," because it's closing and we're the only, it's the only event still going. Oh, Ox Evo, the best whiskey you can get for under 80.
Springbank 10.
I am a big fan of the Nika coffee grain.
Springbank 10.
Right now. The Bowmore Darkest is right there, though, the 15-year.
Depending if you can find it for under 80.
Real good. Sorry. Back to this.
Yes.
Why is it only best of 3 until you get to the finals?
Again, so you want... Tetris is one of those things where if you give somebody 100 games, the cream will rise to the top. So if you have best of 3, there's this drama of top players getting eliminated in early rounds, and it's happened before, so that you get some fresh faces in the finals. Again, there's a time constraint as well, especially with the level of competition increasing. You're seeing a lot of games going to the kill screen, which means that a best of 3 could be a half-hour long round. Mm-hmm. So if you add 2 more games to that, we're looking at 45, 50 minutes. This thing could be running a couple hours long if you have the wrong... If you just get a lot of kind of game 5 stacked up.
Mm-hmm. If you... Oh, sorry. And then why are the finals only best of 5? Why not best of 7?
Time constraints, hype constraints. With best of 7, you'd probably see the scoring increase, but you have that... You lose that kind of holding your breath every drop feel. So I think it's very important to keep it life or death, to keep the hype alive. It's an important factor in the visibility and just making people lean in a little closer live, in my opinion.
Would you want any of this to become double elimination or best of 5 from quarters on and best of 7 in finals?
As it was, that best of 3 match with Green Tea took everything out of me. And I was a tired boy hitting the finals because even before that, Svavar and all these other great players, it's a lot of Tetris. And you're so focused, it's very physically draining to play. And that would have to go with hyper tappers as well. That's a lot of tapping.
Oh, yeah.
It's a lot of tapping.
For sure, it's physically.
So to protect
mentally.
their hands as well, if you're doing best of 5s all the way through, my goodness.
Blank did the math, and it's about a 90,000 difference between an 18 and 19 start. So
Thanks,
roughly 1.6 million. He did the math, you guys.
Did the math.
Thanks. We're gonna finish these, and then you guys get all your questions, and then we're gonna call it. Okay. If both players max out at the CTWC, who wins?
So, you can't really max out at the CTWC because there's a 7th digit in the Game Genie software that is presented that the same mechanic that allows for the same pieces for the players, it uncaps the score. So it's literally the person with the highest score. So if it's 1 million to 1.1 million, it's not who maxes first. That is a myth perpetrated by the uninitiated, the unenlightened. It is literally the higher score wins.
Mm-hmm. If both players max out at the CTWC qualifier, how does that work?
So the qualifier does not have the same software.
Because they have like 14 consoles going and they don't have enough equipment for
so
that.
If 2 players max out, it goes to the backup score. And if the backup scores are max out, so if you both have 5 max out, it's that 6th game, whatever you got, will be the tiebreaker.
Okay. First to 99999 is the people's pick. The CTWC is absolutely a few very dedicated individuals, Papa Rick. Who runs it, Jonas?
So it is it's the love child of Vince Clemente, tournament organizer, Trey Harrison, software genius, Adam Cornelius, original director of Ecstasy of Order, which is a great documentary. Go and watch it right now on YouTube. You're already on YouTube, so just do it. And then other people that are great.
Fucking peasants. Look, Sinus was enlightened. That's nice. All right. Have you played Tetris Effect?
I have, and it's a wonderful game. I don't stream it a ton, just because I think it works better as a click into the Tetris flow offline experience, especially in VR. A beautiful game with clean mechanics. I do a lot of controller blaming. I've never blamed the controller in Tetris Effect. The music, it's just an immersive experience.
Have you tried Master Mode?
I have, and it's incredibly difficult. So Master Mode differs from Classic Tetris in the sense that the pieces drop incredibly fast and you have a window to lock them down in certain places.
If you could be one Tetris piece, which one would you be?
So Sinister One, great question. If I could be any Tetris piece, I would be the line piece.
Why?
Because I would be treasured. I would be scarce, and when I made an appearance, people would always be happy to see me.
Jonas does love being included.
I love being included.
It's beautiful. What's your favorite Tetris piece?
Line piece.
Okay.
Because I also have I have self-respect and self-love. So
great answer. Glad you liked it.
Thanks. Good to see you on YouTube, Sinister. I don't see you on YouTube that much. GG's.
Have you played?
This is YouTube, by the way.
Have you played Tetris 99?
I have, and I adore it. It's so much fun.
So fun.
Another modern mechanic game that actually incentivizes me to learn modern Tetris. It really has, in a way that other games have not, and Heather as well. Heather is dynamite. Go click on our other video, the husband and wife back-to-back world record.
We're so much better now.
Legal documentation.
We're so much better now. I can spin both ways, and I can do T-spins. And Jonas can do DT cannons. We're so much better now. Tetris 99, super fun. We play it all the time.
All the time.
Have you ever played TGM? That's a great one, John Tree.
John Tree, wonderful question.
Great fucking question.
I played it once in Texas on the original hardware, and I was terrible at it. And so with this Tetris 99, I feel like I would do better at it, but there's this locking kind of thing. Kevin DDR explained it to me, and you could see the rhythm of his head bobs when he's playing with the lock. So he like bobs and locks. And that's just something that I've never learned, and I was fascinated when I was watching that young man play Tetris.
Fair. I had another question, and then I forgot it. Why do you like Tetris?
Yeah, so a question I get a lot is, are you tired of Tetris? And the answer is a resounding no. The community incentivizes and supports me and makes it a lot more fun to practice for tournaments. Usually back in the day, I'd just practice for a couple months before the tournament. Now it's more of a year-round thing, which would get tedious, except that you guys are the best. Second of all, each Tetris game leaves you with something, with a takeaway. Because every time you top out, every time you don't handle a sequence particularly well, kind of pushes you to get better and better. And, you know, even after 25, 30 years of playing, I still feel like there's room to improve.
Is competitive Tetris your full-time job?
No, but almost.
Well, streaming.
Competitive Tetris is not a full-time job, because there's not a ton of money in the purse, but you got to understand that there's glory gains when you win. You get a sweet trophy that's over there, off screen.
A bunch of them.
But you also get to be a relevant part of just a warm and wonderful community. And that is better than any monetary compensation that your boy can get. There's certain tiers of monetary compensation that would be better, but we haven't really reached them yet.
That's a good one from Sophie.
Yeah.
How many years have you been playing Tetris?
So,
and when did you get your first max out?
I got my first max out, I want to say around 2002, 2003. I've been playing off and on. I started when I was like 9, and then I'd put it down for 4 or 5 years, and I brought it back probably around like middle school to early high school and played it off and on. Started getting good senior year of high school. I think I was scoring in the 700,000s. Put it down for some of college, picked it back up after college, maxed out, and then after I got like a level 19 max out, I put it down again for a couple of years. Then the tournament happened. And then we've been playing nonstop.
What's hyper tapping? Sorry, I forgot that section.
So hyper tapping is pressing the directional pad left and right faster than holding down. And there's a few players that can do it, and they're very good at it, and they make it look easy, which leads people to ask me why I don't hyper tap. And I don't hyper tap because I'm a slow boy. I love playing slow Tetris. I love kind of the cerebral. It's like why you don't ask Greg Maddux why he doesn't throw a 99-mile-an-hour fastball, right? Because he's like, it would hurt my elbow. and I am content with placing pitches in certain parts of the strike zone and change ups and doing all these little things.
It's a very specific.
Very
comparison.
specific. Shout out to Greg Maddox for being the star of that analogy? Metaphor. Simile? I don't know. Jinx. Yeah, analogy. Thank you. So
you're not going to hyper tap?
I don't have any plans to hyper tap in the future. It hurts my hand. Mm-hmm. And I don't have fun doing it. I have a lot more fun trying to further unlock secrets with holding down.
Guess it's true. We'll do, if anyone has more questions, but then we'll wrap at least this part up. Those were like the main ones that I thought of.
Guys, thank you for being a part of this Tetris FAQ.
It also saves your hand, yeah.
Oh, everybody say hi to YouTube.
Oh, hi YouTube.
Hi YouTube.
Bye YouTube.
Bye YouTube.
Hi bye.
Everybody
Bye-bye.
say it. Way to go.
Do you have a favorite C2WC winning game?
I want to.
Jonas not wearing a signature jacket in the Oh my god.
This is actually a heavy shirt. Signature game. I think the comeback against Alex, that first game, was a heart of a champion moment. Felt good about that.
Okay. Are there any good resources to take average Tetris play to the next level? Oxevo, thanks so much for that sub.
Thank you for the sub, Oxevo. My goodness.
Average Tetris play to the next level. Honestly, watching streams, watching the tournament videos.
Yep.
Your brain will start to internalize that style of gameplay. Eggplant.
An eggplant.
You guys, thank you so much for the subs.
Dude, it has been my pleasure facking you guys with this. Thank you for those facking subs. Much love.
Oh, you'll fit right in here, friend.
I got you, Ox. Come on. What was I talking about? What was I saying?
Average play to better play.
Okay. One of the best things you can do is watch people's Tetris streams and predict the move. So you can see the next box. You're like, I'm going to put it here. And if they put it there, then you got it right. If they didn't, you have to self-analyze and be like, well, was mine worse or was their spot worse? And you really have to be kind of true to yourself with how that goes down. But predicting moves, analyzing why you were incorrect or why you were correct is a wonderful kind of resource to use.
What makes a quick tap different from hyper tapping?
That's a great question. So quick tapping is...
you can use the controller to show it.
Is the closest that I come to hyper tapping. So usually I hold down to get something all the way over to the left. But if that's not going to do, if you get it one column away from the left, you can tap the controller in that 3-2 window frame or frame window to move it one more over. And so it goes bop, and it just looks like it kind of jumps. And that opens up more of the board for me.
Whereas a hyper tapper would tap it 7, 8, 9 times, whatever, to get it all the way over. Tap, 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 tap.
Think of it as a T-spin, but for a line move or getting a piece over. It's the same difficulty as hitting a T-spin. It's just I had to teach my left hand to do something, and that is more than I ask of it in decades. So it was tough to kind of fold in. I got the dumbest left hand in the biz.
Play the game. Yeah, you want to pick it up, start playing, try to just hit Tetrises. That's it. Try to build for Tetrises and hit Tetrises. And Jonas recommends starting on a level that's just a little too fast for you to handle.
Yeah.
So find what you're wherever you're just constantly pressing down, play the next level up. And also don't press down.
Yes. And without knowing your game, what I like to say is if you're brand new to Tetris, level 5 until you hit 100,000, level 9 until you hit 300,000, level 15 until you hit 500,000, and then 18 and 19 until you max out or go further and beyond.
Further and beyond.
Further and beyond.
Both of them.
As you can see, I did this with my finger. That's your scoring chart. Actually, no. It's mirrored, so it goes that way.
Have you played browser Tetris? Have you played Tetris
scoring
Friends?
chart.
Have you played
scoring chart?
How many of the other Tetrises have you played?
I played a multitude of Tetrises.
And why is your favorite not Tetris 2?
So not Tetris 2 is Chaos Tetris, and it's all about managing your jiggly stack, and it's great. It's you cabbage. There's a whole that's another FAQ. That's a whole another fucking thing. But I love Not Tetris 2. But in order of love, it's NES Tetris, Tetris 99, Tetris Effect, and then Not Tetris 2 is an honorable mention because it's not really Tetris.
Because literally not Tetris.
Yeah.
He has tried PPT. He's been practicing your...
PPT, this is a shout out to PPT developers. Get your shit together, boys. The matchmaking is no bueno. For an intermediate, medium-skilled boy like me, it's very tough for me to get matchmaking matches that make sense. I'm either going too low or too high. Come on. Get it together.
Come on. Are you a hand model? No.
Too much manual labor for your boy.
Too pale. These pale boy
No.
hands.
Pale hands are in right now, guys. Pale hands are in.
This is like a really long FAQ.
Yeah.
I guess there are a lot of frequently asked questions. I mostly went through like YouTube comments for what people were asking, and then also streams. So, would you recommend the right side on modern Tetris games? No. But still build them because you have pattern recognition. Jonas's dips. That's it.
And that's a fact.
That's